So it's interesting what you said. And as you were speaking, it crossed my mind that as we look at our responsibilities, right? So we literally cannot say anything that is relationship, so work, I can't say no. So there quite often we say, I can't, it's part of my job. I just can't say no because I'm tired or I have to take a rest. Relationship again toward kids, I mean, with the responsibility, I can't say no. Then toward the spouse, partner, I can't say no. But then toward self, yeah, I can actually take that as a last on the list,
And
really,
the
because the
reason,
consequences feel,
Mhm.
it's induced on me. I mean, I just take the consequence, but others, it looks like a greater consequence. It looks like a bigger loss threat if I don't fulfill in relationship to work, in the relationship to
Absolutely,
partner. So how do so that checking out just is easier on ourselves.
which is part of one of the things we have to understand about self concept. Usually, we might do that out of a sense of responsibility, but it's also because we believe we can. And that is oftentimes rooted in arrogance. It's an inflated view of self. In other words, I think I can get by on 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night. I have people say that to me all the time. And my response is, you might think that. The simple fact is that's not the design. Whether it's 7 or whether it's 8 or whether it's 8.5, I'm not going to argue that. But the bottom is 4 or 5. It's just not going to be enough. Oh, but I've been doing it for years. Yeah, how are you? Well,
Yes, that's
well, how's that working for you? Right? There's a reason you're sitting with me. And it's not because your body's coping with 4.5 or 5 hours of sleep a night and all the other things.
well, it's a badge of honor, that. I mean,
Yeah,
recently,
fair.
well, we saw that when I asked you, how are you? I mean, it was a must to say I'm busy. It was a really badge of honor. I'm busy. I'm really busy. And it meant you're productive. It kind of encapsulated a lot of these social currencies we were tossing around as a must for you to validate yourself, right?
Can I
So I'm
throw something?
busy. I don't sleep. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm crashing it, man.
Can
I'm
I throw
crashing.
something in there? You're right. That is a badge of honor, but it's also please don't add anything to my load. It's also a means of I'm so busy. Please don't give me anything else. So it's
Uh,
a means of
could
escape as well.
be.
It's both. It's
Yeah,
both.
sure.
It's a matter of,
The voice of, tone of voice was usually with pride. So I don't know
yes.
about that.
Well, again, people in that state are usually not asking for more work.
No, no,
It's
that's
also a
true.
matter of just let me keep you at arm's length here, just while I tell you how
Don't
busy I
add.
am. Don't add to this. Whatever you were coming to ask, they're certainly not going to be able to do that.
But
That's a separate
can
subject.
I just, going back on demand? No, there is alignment with reality. It's really important. Comes in very strongly here. So there are real, life is never linear, and it comes and goes and it comes kind of very thick and dense sometimes. And you can have a very realistic, really burden that comes to you at one point. It can be sickness, it can be death, it can be
Yeah.
really great loss that is just, horrible to experience. And that, I think we see that when there is a lack of support, we kind of come in very quickly with not only just self-regulation in your daily habits, but then when you really need just person to be allowed to breathe again, knowing that they cannot carry alone. So that is realistically people can meet in their life. But what we at demand we're talking about now here is actually quite often self-induced. It's almost self-inflicted. And then we see really poorly managed expectations. So they're skewed from reality quite often. And
Mhm.
I think this is what we said quite a lot, that how do you know